G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. And yes, this is the first new video to be made around June of 2026, which is of course Monday the 1st of June 2026. And as you can see, hey, we are now in the very first day of meteorological summer. But to be honest, looking at this, looks more like autumn for some reason, because hey, not only we had a lot of rain, but also, guess what? The temperatures have been deducted to about 17 degrees Celsius, possibly 18 degrees Celsius, with a low minimum temperature of about 10 degrees Celsius. And yes, it actually feels more like either April or October. And to be quite obviously honest, hey, that's also the same maximum temperature that we get in Auckland in New Zealand. I might be totally wrong, but hey, am I sounding like a guy who has already travelled to New Zealand? No, because hey, New Zealand is already in winter time. Or should I just say Tasmania and Australia? Because obviously, hey, that also shares the exact same polarity and the same climate that we're having at the moment. But that is a bit strange because hey, even though we're pretty much part of the Northern Hemisphere, you got to think back to ourselves. Wow, isn't that a piece of climate? Well, I'd probably say yes. With all these cold, dull, and so dreary, summers like this, I have to say they're going to be a thing of the past. In the future we're going to see more in the way of heat waves. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I think what we're going to be seeing in the near future is a total reduction of just really bad and really windy and somewhat autumnal feelings to summer. I think these will have to be a thing of the past and will be slightly reduced to somehow, as I have no idea what I could probably say. Hey, this is what summer would have been looking like in the past couple of years' time, and as a screaming kid on the background, it's going to be totally nothing different. Okay, having a bit of a closer around, as you can see, there's a lot of noisy sirens in the background. A lot of noisy sirens today. And I can't talk today because there's a noisy siren from a police car, ambulance, fire engine, whatever the hell that vehicle is up to. I've got no freaking clue of what to really say. I probably presume that was a fire engine. Yes, that was an air horn from a fire engine. That was clearly unexpected and uncalled for. I never thought that there was an air horn coming from a fire engine, but that's how it is sometimes when you have a situation like this. Noisy buggers have to really do their job, I'm afraid. I tell you what, the noisy sirens are still taking over this video, but I think they should start to dissipate from now on. Right, of course, yes. With the noisy sirens are now just bailing and wailing out from, well, let's just say wherever. I probably should from like the left to the right, and some from like here to the left. Hey, I tell you what, guys, let me try and showcase of what I'm going to show you in this video, and let's do it. So yes, we've got a big cluster of nasturtiums derived from other big nasturtiums that I've planted back in 2025, which was amazing. And 2025 was a massive bumper crop year for so many nasturtiums. I tell you what, this is actually really fantastic. But the big question is, hey, can 2026 be a big year for the calendulas? And we've got a rude interruption from a parakeet, but then hey, these brightly colourful birds, I mean, it's quite controversial to say. Would you say green ring-necked parakeets are straightforward? They totally do look invasive because, hey, parrots are not really a thing in the UK. Oh, well. Let me just go ahead and straightforward look at some of the other stuff because, hey, we all tend to think of parakeets as somewhat tropical-looking birds. But hey, what I'm on about is, hey, with that nonsense going around, with the sirens, the parakeets, and other whatnot, hey, let's talk about the backyard garden. This is what I'm actually on about. Okay, let me just go ahead and see what's going on here. We've got a rogue strawberry that has actually gone ripe. Now, no, that has actually gone, it's actually touching this part of the soil. So what I might do is I might probably take this one out without damaging the fruit itself, and I should probably find a good place for it to ripen, maybe somewhere in a local fridge, which will pretty much keep it nice and fresh somehow. I just knocked over quite a few plant pot plants. Right, I might probably put it somewhere as long as keeping it nice and safe. Hopefully I'm not going to stain my stupid large military grade trousers that I've got at the moment, but you can't see them. Oh, just kidding. There they are. So, yes, we've got, some good news, but there's also some bad news. The bad news is, hey, we are still very much transitioning from what, let's just say, hot, scorching weather back in May last week, and now as we started summer, we're off to a very completely and utterly disgusting start, and that's the true nature summer seems to be like. But hey, these days, they are going to be declining. You know, some of the old, cold, dreary, wet days of summer. I mean, I could tell the guys say before when we had shockingly high, well, let's just say, levels of global warming and climate change. I tell the guys, hey, I suppose during the 70s we had much cooler temperatures, but hey, I'm a Gen Z person because I would never ever know about that, I'm afraid. So we've got what looks like to be a couple of sunflower seedlings. They are actually doing extremely well. Yes, they are doing nicely. We've got a big jumbo plane that's flying in the background. But yes, the sunflower seedlings, this one here looks great, and so is that one there. That one there might be struggling because of how massively deteriorated the leaves are. And to be quite obviously honest, hey, with that nasty bit of deterioration and decay caused by the aphids and snails, that's not a good sign. Obviously, that one there might probably die real soon. But I think these two should be a complete and utter saviour to be saved, I suppose. Hey, lucky for these two to be completely and utterly saved. And I know it's starting to rain because I can just see a lot of rain going pitter-patter, pitter-patter. We've got nasturtiums. There are also some other nasturtiums here that have also started to decay, which is not a good sign. And yes, I'm getting rained upon. Yes, this one here looks great, but then, of course, hey, we've actually got a lot of deterioration. I can see an aphid, which is actually clinging onto the nasturtium leaf. Obviously, hey, my better solution is, well, don't use pesticides and insecticides. My only solution is try and sprinkle with some water. Maybe that'll be a better thing. Maybe try and get a water spritting bottle. Not just to water and hydrate plants, but also to deter away any insects that will pretty much deter away. Yeah. And that was like a noisy car in the background. I think there was a noisy car in the background that just started to take over my video. There's so many things that has been taking over in this video. But hey, yes. Another big nasturtium, and look at the damage that has been caused. I might have to probably trim these guys out and probably destroy. Well, I wouldn't destroy, but more like trim and clip away some of these little bits of deteriorations I really don't like with these nasturtiums and calendulas, and even this one here that started to be deteriorated. But on top of that, hey, most of it has actually started to survive. And what's even more weird is I'm actually starting to see a little bit of weird, whatever the heck that is. Is that like saliva or something like that? What is that weird, bubbly looking goopy sort of stuff? I've got no idea what that is. Is that like sap from the calendula seedling? Which I've got no freaking clue, whatever the heck that is. And yeah, the rain's starting to go patter, which is of course not a good sign. Lots of nasturtiums, of course, as I said earlier on before, they have been derived from the bigger size nasturtiums that I planted last year, which was during summer and autumn of 2026. Oh, sorry, 2025. There's some people who are trying to speak over as part of the video. But let me just go like so. Let me just go ahead and start blabbering around here. Yeah, there's a lot of interruptions going on here. What is going on? Can you please just quiet? I'm making a video. My God, what's wrong with people today? Right. Okay, so the broad beans outside. This one here is standing. What is wrong? Can you please just shut the hell up? What is wrong with people? I'm trying to just make a video and I can't even get it right sometimes. Sorry, that was my bad, hey? Anyways, so, with the rain starting to pitter-patter all my way through, I tell you what, my backyard garden, as I said before, had a lot of curvies. Mind you, I wouldn't be that ticked off. Okay, let's go to the broad beans. Okay, this one here has started to flop, and I can just see a great big seedling like that. And unfortunately, this one here has started to topple over, which is not a good sign. And as you can start to see, hey, what's going on? Let me just go ahead and start tearing this one apart. I know it's been rooted, but I think this one, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it feels like we've got a lot of broad beans dying. It feels like they've been dying so far, especially, I don't know what's going on with the broad bean seedlings. Is it just the fact I've just been, you know, transplanting the right way around, and then all of a sudden, as they started to, you know, the seed husk shell thing just started to grow on top. I don't know why. I studied so well in terms of how, you know, exactly how these plants grow and stuff like that. Man, it doesn't really seem to be that great when you see plants start to flip over. I think it's the wind. I feel like I have not been building any tall stilts to really support these plants and to let them grow properly. I think most of the time, hey, I think it's probably gonna flop. You know, if my bean crops are gonna really flop because I don't. Sorry, pardon me, hey. Don't have sort of infrastructure to deal with at the moment. But yes, as it's quite a cold and sort of windy day, I wouldn't say cold because obviously we are very much at the summer. Mind you, we already had summer. Of course, yes, hey, if I go up towards here, remember on the previous video, because it was a relatively hot and scorching day at that time, I actually straightforward, and yes, the rain has started to go pitter-patter and pitter-patter. Why do I keep on saying it so many times? And yes, the wind is starting to get very, very stroppy. Yeah, it's getting aggressive, that wind, which is probably the main reason why my broad beans have decided to topple over from one side, from being, let's just say, straight and vertical into somewhat diagonal and straightforward contorted. Not good to know. If you remember in the previous video, I actually did fill up quite a lot of water for the animals because it was a relatively hot week at that time. And maybe the best thing I should probably do is, if they are contaminated, the best thing I should try and do is pour them out like so. And okay, once they are straightforward done, I can pretty much wash these guys out for another hot summer. And boy, wouldn't that be really awesome. If there's another hot summer, I'll try and basically wash all these, you know, containers, canisters, bowls, what we're going to call them, hey? Tubs. I'll try and wash these guys out when another heat wave appears sometime around mid to late June. I'm hoping for that to be really much a perfect improvement. But mind you, as we're now going back in time, or spring, or autumn as we like to call it, in the beginning of summer, man, that's really disgusting. No way, Jose. And of course, yes, the jet stream has dipped further south. We already had like a lot of hot weather that we had from like last week, and now we're getting some Atlantic flows and Atlantic troughs, and basically we have a conveyor belt of low pressure systems like so. Anyways, let me just go ahead and show you what's also growing in my backyard garden. I've also got a Welsh poppy that's growing right here, and this one here has started to lose all of its petals. That one there, I mean, cast myself in that one. I'd never expected to see a Welsh poppy flower to be blossoming right over my backyard garden. It's just one of the strangest expectations I've never ever thought of in my hands. And neither on the fact that, yes, we are very much early June. It's never ever too late to straightforward sow some plants. For example, hey, it might feel like May, but hey, on the truthful part is, I mean, it's not like May of 2026, which is, of course, the more specifically hot one. But what I'm actually on about is, hey, if I can sow some more calendulas, hey, that'd be really great to pretty much get myself prepared until next year. And the rain is starting to pour out really rampantly. I tell you what, guys, I don't know what to really say, but the rain has started to spoil my career. I'm trying to do some backyard gardening tours and whatnot. So I'm just sheltering here, and it's getting really heavy. Right, okay, we've got the roses here, and although the rain is starting to pour out quite immensely, what I should probably say is, hey, with that being said, my plants are getting a good drench. Although I do feel like, hey, there are a few dilemmas that might present itself. You know, because I've got pumpkins, I might try and talk about the pumpkins later on in this video, because, hey, that's very important to know. There's a look at the roses, which are all nice and white, yet looking a little bit, I'd probably say they're doing fine, eh? It's just that, hey, the weather is not that great. That's what I'm pretty much, let's just say, I don't know what to really say, but hey, this is not how summer should feel like, but it has to be, in a very strange way. Well, yeah, it's very much what it is. And there's that person. What is going on? What is going on with that person just straightforward calling on the background? Maybe that person has got nothing to do with me, but he thinks he feels like he is. And the rain is starting to pelt really, really rampantly. As you can see, we're getting lots and lots of rain. And we haven't had one of these rainy days for a long period of time. That's very interesting to see, but it's also quite unseasonable for that time of the year. I might as well just go ahead and straightforward show you a bit. I don't have my umbrella for me today. And I'm pretty much sheltered underneath by that tree, which may not be a very safe thing because the weather might say, hey, we might have thunder and lightning on the cards. It's pouring like mad. Okay, of course, yes, I'm just going to go ahead and start budging myself now. The meadow is actually doing quite right. There were a couple of flowers, but then I accidentally dug out quite a few of them because I wanted to try and make some space. Like so. Most of the plants here, they have not blossomed yet. So hopefully once the warm weather returns by next week or a couple of weeks' time, as the month of June progresses, hey, we might be in a better position to see a dazzling performance of flowers and other plants alike, which would be fairly awesome. And yes, since the hot water has been a thing, so like last week, either you could probably say it's been a good thing or a bad thing so far. We've actually seen a very good crop yield of strawberries. Even though I've actually got about 2 plants. Mind you, this is looking great. I've actually got a couple of flowers like here. There's actually 2 of them. 2 of these flowers. They're doing quite nice. And I've also got these weird looking plants that they had like white flowers, but I can't really remember the name. Which was very strange. And that person is straightforward screaming. I have got no idea what the hell is he talking about. Right. In that case, hey, there's more calendula seedlings. I don't know if it's calendula or zinnias or whatever these ones are. Okay, so we've got nasturtiums. And we've also got... Wow. Oh my god! Can you please just shut the hell up? I'm trying to make a video. Oh, what is wrong with people these days? Sorry, I did not expect to really straightforward lose my cool and just get the hell out of here. I don't usually tend to... Again, give me a break, man. Also, it's raining upon me. Thank goodness. For the time to be right. And this guy doesn't really want a straightforward budge. Whoever is doing it is straightforward. I don't know what to really say, hey, but I just don't think that's acceptable. I don't think that's acceptable. But anyways, let's go right ahead and straightforward see what's happened. Yes, we got a lot of calendulas. Mixed plants of... What is going on with him? What the hell? Just give me a chance to record, okay? God, what is wrong with him? He's not even budging of what he is. I don't know. Right. It's just one of these things. Every time when he says things like that, I just don't even give a complete fat frick. I'm sorry if I have to sound like this, but hey, sometimes I can be a complete cold-hearted cynic. But hey, I have a warm heart in my hands, and I have to prove it to myself. Okay, apart from getting completely nutty stroppy for an unexpected reason, so yes, we've got a lot of calendula seedlings like that. Some of which have gone a little bit, well, let's just say rotten, I suppose, because some of them have, well, straightforward died. Some of them have been straightforward being munched over by insects and aphids and other critters like that, I suppose, slugs and snails. I don't know, to be quite honest, hey, it feels like, hey, we've got some few other plants I'd like to show you, hey. Don't know what to really say, because I need to try and speak up before that other guy's trying to interrupt me. And the rain started to calm itself down a little bit, I suppose, Okay, we've got a few pea seedlings. That one there was the one I transplanted, and there's also quite a few right over there. And my tablet screen is already covered in water. Not good. I might as well just probably shelter and quarantine in these sheds. Actually, that's one shed. There's either one or two of them. Right. Okay. I'm wiping that goddamn screen of mine. Hopefully my video isn't being cutting over like so. If it was, I'll probably have to start again. That wouldn't be that great, eh? But there you go. This is my backyard garden tour. And, not much I could really say, eh? Apart from the rude awakenings from various people and noise like. Sorry about that, guys, eh? But hey, mind you, it was quite completely nutty sloppy. And, oh wow, we've got a moth outside in the backyard garden. Looks like it's hovering. Oh, man. And it looks like it was perching. I don't know what species of moth. See? Moths can really thrive at temperatures like that, especially during summer. And I might actually want to have a bit of a chit-chat about the pumpkins, because obviously my pumpkin seedlings have been doing so well. And yes, on hot summer days, not like but like last week, I actually had to water these plants like once, if not twice, every morning. You can also do it during evening as well, which is also quite optional, of course. But don't do it during the afternoon, because it may straightforward cause mildew disease, depending on which plant you basically want to straightforward sow or plant or grow, whatever you're going to. And most importantly, if you try to water these during the afternoon, you're more likely to attract slugs, snails, and other critters. And there's a cat that has decided to turn up. Hello! Hello! Come here, puss! That cat's quite inquisitive. You're stepping on that meadow? Oh man, this video is going random. That's just me being disgruntled over background noises. Sorry about that, puss. Haven't gave you your name like that, eh? I was gonna call you like Fluffy Cat, maybe Fluffy 2.0 or Bubble. There you go. You look pretty cute. You're just straightforward roaming around like any other alley cat should pretty much reside. And it looks like, wow, what an acro cat. That's a great pun, eh? And then goes up to the other fence. How pretty acrobatic was that? What a pun I could probably use, eh? Something quite fun to probably use without sounding completely nutty boring. What is that? Is that Himalayan balsam? I got no idea what that plant is. Kind of similar to what I planted back in 2024, but hey, so many plants, so far so good. Especially when it comes to the pumpkins. Now, the pumpkins, they really require a relatively warm soil temperature, about 15 degrees Celsius, and maybe like something up to about maybe around 20 degrees, let's say 20 degrees Celsius or higher, or maybe 25 degrees Celsius. I can't really remember, but I think they really require, like, let's just say a soil temperature about 15 degrees Celsius or more. And that, I suppose, during a hot summer's day, hey, they will survive, but they won't like to be too dry, and they are fairly dependent on water. So if you want to try and water these plants, do it regularly, especially during a hot day. But do it in the mornings or in the evenings if there's like a complete deprivation of like stuff. Mind you, that guy in the background has straightforward started to speak again. Sorry, I can't help myself, but it's just that sometimes I just have to let them be and not be toxic to anyone else on the neighborhood. It's interesting to see how my backyard garden has relatively changed, and although I'm pretty much making this video during the first day of June, it doesn't shout out summer, but nevertheless, hey, this is me straightforward making a brand new fresh video for June 2026, but the big question is, will I actually be able to make any new videos throughout the rest of June 2026? I'm sure about that. But the strangest paradox is that I don't have any more Flip-Out toys to review. Give me a few, couple of ideas, give me a few moments for me to think, and then I can straightforward do the rest. I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but then hey, at the same time, it's not. Anyways, if you really enjoyed in this very first, if not sloppy video so far for June of 2026, that was a very strange one because we had a lot of rude awakenings from strange voices, strange sirens, and a very cute cat to end the video. And I mean, wow, even the rain as well has decided to become a lot more disgruntled than usual, I would say, because, hey, the weather patterns have significantly changed. Anyways, if you really enjoyed this video, I certainly say subpar because of a few circumstances that I had to get through. If you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more Flip Flap videos in the future. If you want to see more of this, as always, thanks so much for watching and bye for now. Thank goodness for the sake of many other interruptions completely nutly closing their doors. Again, thank you and goodbye.